Hello everybody, this is DeanoGTO, and this is going to be my just first impressions of the mauschen in comparison to the E75 and the VKB. Now, first thing I need to say is the mauschen, honestly, this thing here should really be more armored than it is. First off, it has a 20km/h top speed. Bear in mind, I still am stuck with the stock tracks and the stock engine. So it will feel a bit quicker accelerating whenever I get the top engine, and okay, it will feel a bit faster accelerating whenever I get the top engine, and I'll actually be able to hit its top speed. This is the first thing I'm going to say about this vehicle. It can't do 20km/h in a straight line with a stock engine. It can't. You need an E75 or a T10 or something to push you whenever you're moving in order to get up to your top speed. The top speed with the stock engine, stock tracks on this thing is 16. And that's not a joke. It genuinely is 16. This thing is unbelievably slow. It really is unbelievable how slow this thing is. And I think there's a good reason why I'm seeing so little of these things around. And the reason for that there is basically it's not a good tank. It's way too slow. This weak point is way more annoying than I anticipated, and even without this weak point on the top, it would still have the old school Maus weak point where you just shoot the middle of the turret and you're going to pin pretty much every time. It also has a weaker lower front plate than the Maus, and the upper front plate doesn't feel well. Nobody ever shoots the upper front plate in a tank like this anyway. People just always shoot the lower plate, and the lower plate isn't as well angled as you would like. So the thing with this is just it's far too slow, and it can't do what it needs to do. And here's the thing. Here's the really weird thing about this. The VKB plays like I imagined the mini Maus would play. This thing needs to be more of a breakthrough tank than it is. Right now, this thing can only do defense and nothing else, because it's not fast enough to push. It cannot push. You cannot push anything in this tank. You can't. Like, you know the middle road on Himmelsdorf? Like, in an E75 or something, you can rush down the middle road and get their strong position and just own people from there. Same with the VKB. You can do that in both of those tanks. You can't do that in this tank. You need to sit there and you need to defend the position. You can't push forward, because then people will just put shot after shot after shot into your lower plate, and it doesn't matter how you angle. Sure, your sidearm is always going to be really strong, but the lower plate can't bounce anything. It's only 180mm thick, and that armor, and yeah, it sounds weird saying it's only 180mm thick, but this armor doesn't feel like it holds up. It really it can't bounce anything with the hull. And look, honestly, this thing basically has the armor layout of the tier 10 Maus, just slightly nerfed. And honestly, I think the tier 10 Maus needs more armor than it actually currently has, because I've been fighting them lately and they don't feel that hard to kill. I mean, I've been in tier 9s and I've just been like, just shoot there, dead. And yeah, it's not hard to kill a Maus. You just need to shoot the appropriate weak points. Or, well, the turret weak point's no longer as big of a weak point, except for TDs, but yeah, this thing just doesn't feel like it holds up. Like, I haven't done anything in this that I don't feel like I've done in the E75 or the VKB. I feel like I could do the same job that the mauschen is able to do, but better in these two. These two just feel like the better all-rounders by far. Sure, I have a really OP crew in this one, but I have driven this thing with a one crew skill 100% and the second crew skill at 50%. I drove this thing stock, and I still felt the potential that this thing had. Like, you can, like, immediately when you first get the E75, even though you have this shitty stock turret, it's basically a Tiger 2 turret at tier 10, or tier 9, you can still feel the potential of the armor on this thing. The mauschen, it's literally like, this is it. There's no turret upgrade, there's no nothing on this thing. Like, the armor you get whenever you get the thing is the armor you're stuck with. There's no buff in the armor in any shape or form. So with the E75, you knew the armor was going to get better. Same with the VKB. You knew the armor was going to get better as long as you kept playing the tank and got the top turrets. But like, it's just unbelievable how weak this thing actually feels. It just doesn't feel like it holds up at all. And I'm actually going to jump into that game here and show you just how slow this thing is. Like, E75 and VKB. Also, actually, something I should just say before you even think of going down this line. Do not, and I repeat, do not try and do this as your first tier 10 heavy line in the German tree. Chances are you probably have already gone down the E75 line and got to the E75 and probably maxed it out. But look how expensive the modules are on this thing. The engine's 50,000 XP on its own, and the tracks are 24,000. And the gun is the same gun you get on the E75 and the mouse and things like that there. So if you had the mouse unlocked already, and the VKB uses it as well. So chances are you probably have this gun if you have the E75. But do not try and unlock this gun on this tank. I mean, trying to use a 220 pen gun on this thing, that just seems suicidal. I can't possibly imagine doing that. I genuinely can't. So yeah, I'm going to jump into a game in this thing. I'm going to just give you a demonstration of how slow this thing is. So we'll see you in a minute. Okay, this time we're on Sacred Valley. Not a good tank for the mouse, for the mini mouse. I was playing a game earlier on this map, and there was a DeanoGTO over here somewhere. I was driving along this area here, just trying to get to a position where I could actually, shoot something. And was I hell going to go down here? So that's the only real option you have in this tank. So I was moving down there. DeanoGTO whacked me, took 1600 health off me. So you may have 2300 health, but that health goes so quickly. It really does. And as I said earlier, I'm so unbelievably disappointed in how this thing has turned out. I honestly think that if they're going to change this thing, it would be to have this thing needs the armor layout of the tier 10 mouse, the old school tier 10 mouse, like the 240 frontal armor, or not 240 frontal armor, 240 frontal turret armor, 210 side armor on the turret, 185 armor here, and 200mm all over the front. It needs that in order to be competitive. And I think that the mouse itself at tier 10 needs to have an extra 20 or 30mm onto its frontal armor. Sounds insane, but I think the mouse is still too easy to kill. Like, and also this thing here, and yeah, this is going down a hill, so that's why I'm actually doing 20. So yeah, this thing here, if a fast tank comes anywhere near you, you're dead. Like, it's unbelievable how quickly you die. Like, I think this tank is basically built to work in platoons. You cannot use this thing outside of a platoon, in my opinion. You genuinely can't. You need to have backup constantly to protect your ass, because this thing is, look how slow it is, and this is coming up to a small slope. Look how quickly the speed drops. And also, I was on Himmelsdorf earlier, you know the encounter game mode on Himmelsdorf? Yeah, I was on that there. I spawned near the top of the hill. I thought, oh yeah, I can turn around and go up to the top of the hill. I was doing 6 or 5 kilometers an hour up the hill, and it took 18 seconds for me to turn the tank 180 degrees. 18 seconds. This thing nearly turns like a battleship's guns and mortar warships. It's unreal. Like, it's kind of I don't have words for it, honestly. See, that M13, yep, he just got shot in the side. Look, I'm finally in a situation where I can potentially shoot something. How long did that take? 2.5 minutes. And I just missed, seriously. Also, keep an eye, bet you he's gonna shoot the turret weak point. Oh, no, never mind, he got distracted. Yay, the 500 damage, yay. See, this is why I like the original version of this tank more. The original version had a 220 alpha, or no, 220 pen, 15 centimeter gun as an option on the tank. And I think that as a gun option on this tank would have been very, very nice. Because this thing here, for the length of time you're actually in the fight, you want to be doing big lumps of damage every time you fire, because even though this thing has a better rate of fire than the E75, and look how quickly these guys are overtaking me, by the way. And yeah, I'm doing 16. And this is on road. And yeah, it's so unbelievably slow. It really is. Let's see. Oh, come on, E100. Okay, so that's 1500 damage, and I think that's basically my game. That's just how this thing goes to play it. I'm going to make an update video on this thing whenever I have got it completely maxed out. That's going to take a long time, though. I can guarantee that this is going to take a long time to finish getting the modules on. I can't imagine grinding, what is it, 200,000 XP to get to the mouse. I can't imagine doing that there on this. It's just too slow. I mean, look at this. It's doing 12. 11, 12. I'm actually going slightly downhill here, I think. So that's the reason for the acceleration I'm getting here. And yeah, as soon as I get to a slight crest, I'll lose all the speed. It's just so unbelievably slow. And I'm going to jump into another game after this one, but that's all I had a chance to do in that game because of how slow this thing is. And look, honestly, I think this thing here needs a turret upgrade rather than an engine upgrade, because the engine upgrade, it's essential for this tank. You cannot play this thing like this. Playing this with a stock engine is basically impossible. I mean, look how slow this fucking thing is. It's unbelievable. I'm doing 12 kilometers an hour. I wonder how long ago that M103 was in the cap circle. He was probably in the cap circle like half a minute ago, and I'm just getting to it now. So yeah, I need to pause the replay here, so it'll be a second. Okay, so these are the results for this game, and this is all I managed to do. Sure, I did fuck up the first shot in the ST1, but look at where I came on the team. That was purely because I couldn't get there in time. If I had been an E75 or something, I could have gotten maybe an extra 1,000 damage out of that game. So, and that's including the extra shot on the ST1. So I reckon I could potentially get 3,000 damage out of that game if I had been an E75, because the E75 has pretty much double the straight line speed. In fact, I think it actually is double the straight line speed. So let's just see. This thing does 20. E75, what do you do? 40. Both of them have the same reverse speed too. And look at the traverse speeds difference. 33 to 13. 21, 13, 13, 1, 3, 13. Jeez. Like, that is just so devastatingly slow, it's unbelievable. Turret traverse speed is not really that much of a surprise because the E75 and the VKB already have slow turret traverse, so it makes sense this thing to be a bit slower. But the traverse speed in this thing is way too slow. It really is. Like, it makes sense because it's a giant ass tank and it's really, really slow in general. But considering how easy it is for a fast tank to literally just drive up to you, get one shot into them, they drive up to you, get to your side armor, and they put shot after shot after shot into you, and you can't react. You can't do anything. You really can't. So at least if you had 15 centimeter or something, you can do more damage. But the way this thing here is structured right now, it can't do anything. It gets 500 damage maybe, and then it dies. That's just how it works. I've had a couple of situations where an MX50, no, it wasn't an MX5100. What was it? It was, oh yeah, it was the tier 9. I was thinking MX5100 because it got the same gun. The Batchat 25 TAP. I've had a couple of situations where one of those has rushed me. I got one shot into him, and then he just ran around in circles around me. He got one of his friends to shoot me once, shot me once in the back while I was trying to turn around and maybe shoot the Batchat, and the Batchat just totally outmaneuvered me. I couldn't do anything at all. So yeah. I'm going to jump into one more game in this thing, and then I will basically finish this video off. I'm hoping this is a better game than the last one. Okay, and we're back. This time we are on Lakeville. This is going to be fun. Not. Look, this is a heavy tank. In my mind, heavy tanks should go towards the city. That's just what they're supposed to do, isn't it? Like, hold on. I'm going to have to pause this just for a second. Okay, I'm back. I had to pause that just for a second because the FPS was being weird. It was 29 instead of 30. I'm not really sure why. It does that sometimes. Bandicam's annoying sometimes. It really is. But yeah, this map here brings me on to another topic, and also keep an eye on the speed. Um, this map brings up another point about this vehicle. The maps that is just useless on. There are certain maps in this game where this tank is literally useless and is nothing but just a giant HP pinata. It, on maps like Malinovka, Prokhorovka, and this map honestly, because all it takes is a scout tank rushing here, spotting me, and then I will die to all the tank destroyers sitting here. And there's fucking nothing I can do about it. Granted, I could go here, but I am not going to drive something that struggles to do 16 on hard terrain. It struggles to do 16 on hard terrain. I am not going to drive that on soft terrain. I'm sorry, but fuck that. Like, that's just... I'm not doing that. Like, by the time I get there, the Crown Wagon will probably be dead. Granted, I'll probably be dead before... Well, no. Granted, I will probably... Everybody will either be dead on my team in the city, or the enemies will all be dead in the city by the time I get there, but... Yeah, look how quick the Jagdpanzer E100 looks by comparison. And the Jagdpanzer E100 is a slow tank. It really is a slow tank. So, yeah, this is just unbelievable. Like, this is a new level of slow. This is like a Tug 2 slow. Also, it's also especially weird because now the T95 is actually kind of quick, weirdly quick. Like, it's really surprising when a T95 can actually get to a position as fast as it can now. It has caught me off guard a couple times now because I've been thinking I have like 10 or 15 seconds to react to a T95. T95 slow as hell, and then T95 just appears in like 7 seconds. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about that, and then I get totally annihilated. And see, that's what I mean there. Object 140 just put a shot into me. Granted, I just bounced what was it? T54, E1, and an E100. And there's artillery, yay! Getting rebound. How the fuck did an artillery even hit me here? I'm gonna have to drive through this. Look, this is what I mean by this thing is only good at defending. That's the only real scenario where you get to actually sit. Oh, for fuck's sake. How are you hitting me from there? Look, this thing is only good at defending. It can't attack. Attacking in this thing is suicide. Because it just can't get to a position where it can actually sit and it can actually use its armor. Like, if you're showing the front armor in this tank, you're doing it wrong. That's basically how it works. And honestly, I think this thing should be more like the Japanese heavies in the form of, like, you need to be able to just point the front armor at your enemy and just continue moving forward. Because this thing, the way it's set up right now, it cannot... It gets left so far behind so easily. Because all it takes is somebody pressing the W key and just kind of just slowly driving away from you. Because it just, like, people say that the ultra heavies are, for fuck's sake. I had to try and go across there because I want to try and get some more damage out of this game rather than just sitting there. That E100 is going to kill me. Oh no, never mind, the R7 killed me. Granted, you could consider that was pretty stupid, but like, honestly, in my opinion, though, the only real option I had was trying to get across here and trying to stop these E100s before they came up and just annihilated me. All I did was accelerate my own death there. That's all I really managed to do. So that's annoying, but there's nothing I can really do about it. If I hadn't have tried to cross there, they would have just driven up here, and they would have just killed me eventually anyway. Or the I-7 would have done it. So yeah, there was absolutely nothing I really think I could have done there. And yeah, let's see. Let's look at the Leo PTA and see what he's doing. Yeah, he's got no chance versus these guys. Is that even the 105? I think it is, just from the gun noise. He's got 2 gun marks. It's kind of impressive. Huh. Okay. Let's see. But yeah, that kind of just shows off just how slow and just pretty much useless this thing is. I'm going to try and stick it out and I'm going to try and unlock the engine. I'm getting the engine before the tracks because I feel like the engine's going to be more of help than just a slight traverse speed buff. And when I say slight traverse speed, I think it's 2 degrees or something like that, 2 or 3 degrees per second that it ups your traverse speed by. That's it. So it's not as if it like buffs it by like 5 or 6. It buffs it by like 2 or 3. So it really, I just don't know what to say about this tank. It's too inflexible, and it can only defend. It can't attack at all. And you saw you saw when I tried to do something versus those E100s in the city there, when I tried to move across, and I tried to basically get into a position where I could defend versus the E100s, because I knew the E100s were going to push forward, and if I sat where I was just going to just survive a little longer and then maybe get one more shot off and then die. Like, that was all I could really do. So, yeah, I don't know what to say about this tank. I just think it's not good enough the way it is. It just isn't, and the mouse has just died on my team. Real 15 is the only tank left on this flank. He just killed the RU251. Oh, well, not the only tank left on this flank. Just kind of brain farted there and cut the map in half this way. So yeah, I didn't think. Yeah, that was a bit of a brain fart. Sorry. There's a Leopard 1 left. What's he doing? Let's see. IS-7 and E100 both attacking the base. Our T110E3 is, yeah, about to die. Yeah, I don't see them being able to pull this back, and it's yeah, if I had been in E75 or something, not only would it have been in the town twice as fast, and I can guarantee it would have been twice as fast, because the E75's got double the top speed and can do about 30 on average on flat terrain, and keeps its momentum a hell of a lot better. Yeah. The E75 would have been there twice as fast, and it would have been able to do just as well, in my honest opinion. Like, the E75, it has pretty much the same aim time and pretty much the same, what was it, same aim time and pretty much the same reload. There's a very slight difference in rate of fire, but it's not that big. And, yeah, it just doesn't hold up. The mauschen just the armor doesn't hold up the way you would like. I'll try the tier 8 after I finish maxing this thing out, but I suspect the tier 8 can only be better. I don't think it can be worse. But yeah, I am looking at pretty much stock tank, so hang on, I'll be back in a minute. Need a pause. Okay, back again. Okay, as I was saying, I don't really think there was anything I could really have done in that game to change the outcome. Like, I really don't think there was anything I could really do. And like last game, near the bottom of the team because I couldn't get there fast enough to use my gun and actually get damage out. Plus, it didn't help the Object 140 was somehow shooting me in the side from the middle, and I didn't even see how he was doing it. So I don't even know. I would not only would have been in a better position in the E75, I would have been able to basically relocate faster because I wouldn't have got shot in the side on my way up. I'm pretty sure I got shot in the side once on the way up, and I wouldn't have got shot in the side while I was trying to slow down the E100s. So yeah, I just don't know what to say about this thing. It just isn't a good tank. And honestly, I don't really know if it's even worth going towards the mouse. As you can see, the mouse is a pretty solid tank apparently these days. So yeah, this thing I don't think is good enough. I really don't. I'm honestly kind of annoyed that it's kind of just shit. I really wanted to like this thing. I didn't go in with high expectations because I never go into tanks with high expectations. In fact, here's an idea of just how good the E75 is. I went into the E75 with gigantic expectations. Like, I expected this to be pretty much the best tank I ever drove. And the E75 met those expectations. That's how good the E75 is. It met those expectations and exceeded them. The mauschen, the mini mouse, whatever you want to call it, can't meet those expectations. And honestly, after I try the tier 8, I'll be able to tell you whether or not this line's even worth going down. But yeah, I'm going to make a slight updated video. Like, I remember actually, I'll say the other thing first. I'm going to make an update video on the mini mouse whenever I've got all the upgrades on it. But this is the first impressions, and honestly, they're not good. Like, this tank is just too slow. It's not good enough. It's nowhere near good enough. It doesn't come close to good enough. Like, it doesn't have as bad of a grind as something like the Leopard PTA. I mean, look at this for a grind. I mean, fuck this. Like, I only have this because I think it came free with the SP1C, yeah. Fuck this. I mean, 62,000 XP, 24,000 XP, 33,000 XP, 23,000 XP. How much does that even add to all together? 62 plus 24, 86. 86 plus 33 is 119. 119 to 122. 122 plus 20 is 142. 142,000 XP to elite the Leo PTA. Yeah, that seems worth it. Nope. Okay, so how much is it actually unlock the mouse from this? 220,000 XP. I'm sorry, but I physically couldn't do that. I really couldn't. Like, this tank is not good enough. Like, I have forced my way through some bad tanks before, just brute forcing it, and just going as hard as I can. Things like the MXM 445, one of the worst tanks tier for tier in the game. This thing is such a piece of shit. It's unbelievable. I brute forced my way through it to get to the 5100. Love the 5100. Got the 5120. 5120 when I originally got it only had 6 degrees of gun depression to the front. Or 6 degrees of gun depression and gun elevation, so it was an awful tank whenever I got it. It was not fun to play at all, and that's why I sat in my garage for like a year and I barely played it. I got 100,000 XP eventually, but that was over a year of playing it, so that just gives you an idea of just how much I didn't like playing it. But near the end of my grind on this thing, I got 9 degrees of gun depression to the front, which is actually more than the M13, which is hilarious. But yeah, and then eventually unlocked the 50B. I haven't played the 50B yet, because I just haven't really felt like going out and buying it yet, so yeah, that's basically I can't think of anything else to really say about this thing other than right now, not good, not good on this thing. I'm really not good on this thing. Like I just don't like it at all. Like, and I think I mentioned it earlier, but yeah, there's also a lot of maps where this thing is absolutely useless. Like maps like Prokhorovka, Fiery Salient, Malinovka, a lot of cases, Lakeville, if you don't get across that road, you're going to die. Yeah, if you get spotted while you're trying to cross, you're going to die. That's just the way it works. And what was the other one? There's another map where it's absolutely useless. I'm honestly going to say, what's that sand map called? It's not Sand River, it's the other one. The sand map that has a train track on it, near the back of one of the bases. What the hell is that map called? I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but yeah, I'm gonna put a list of the maps where I reckon this thing here is pretty much useless, just like down here somewhere. You can probably read them if you want to, but yeah, this thing here, not a good tank so far. I just don't like it, and I don't even get like a feeling of how much potential this thing has because it's just too slow. I can't get into a position to actually use its arm most of the time. And if you don't have support, you're going to die because you can't react. You have no react. You can't react to anything in this thing. It's just not. It just can't. I don't have anything else really to say about this thing. It just can't do anything really that the E75 can't do. And that's not to say that the E75 needs nerfed or anything. The E75 does not need nerfed. It's okay as the way it is. Honestly, I like the E75, so I don't want it to change. In the VKB, I think the nerf to the lower plate, but the buff to the side armor will help this thing a lot. But like this thing here, I think has a more solid layout of armor than the mauschen. I mean, it just does. I just honestly think it does. So yeah, I think that's about everything I really have to say on this thing. In this video, I will continue trying to get this thing fully upgraded. It's going to take a long time. I'm probably going to have to start burning through my personal reserves to try and get through it, but yeah, it's not a good tank, and I think one of the main reasons why I'm not able to get a good win rate in this thing is because I just can't get anywhere fast enough to have an impact in the game. Like putting 2 shots out and doing 1,000 damage, that's okay. Like if you're doing 1,000 damage in a tier 6, you're doing well. If you're doing 1,000 damage in a tier 9, you're doing badly. That's just the way it works. Like, it's just, I think I'm rambling now, so I'm gonna stop. So yeah, um, let me know, what do you think of this thing? Do you think it's just awful, or do you actually like it? I'm curious to know, like, if I'm actually going to set up a replay address. I'm going to do that finally. I haven't. I'm going to make a separate video on it at some point, but I'm actually going to set up a replay address. I'm going to have people send, like, if you have this thing and you're having good games in it, I would like to see a replay. I would probably put it up on the channel because like the highest um, mastery mark I've gotten this thing is third. That's it. Like and that was pure just RNG luck. Because I managed to get 3,000 damage. The only reason why I got 3,000 damage because enemy tanks just kept driving to me instead of me having to drive to them. So yeah, that was just like just piece of piss a game, and I even managed to die in that game there because artillery just kept high explosive nuking me. So yeah, I think I'm done. Nothing else really to say. So let me know your opinions on this thing. Let me know how do you see this thing on the battlefield? Do you see this thing as a threat, or do you see it as just a giant HP pinata? So yeah, let me know. I'm curious. So yeah, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.